Hedera Hbar. So this is how we can generate more revenue. We're basically going to take a look into an interview with Hbar and also with Rob Allen about this. And we could potentially be doing $1 million a day if we're able to increase our transactions per second. Now we're going to take a look at other bits and pieces of information that we have for Hedera, in addition to the HBAR price and source price action for today. So all I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So we have this interview over here and we've got Rob Allen, and they basically talk about the potential revenue that we could be seeing for Hedera in general and how we could actually be growing that.
And, we're talking about the limit of our EVM being 300 transactions per second. Right now, even though we're generating about $35,000 worth of revenue per week with our smart contract calls, we're only doing about one transaction per second on average. I think if we were to max that out and get up to 200 or 300 transactions per second, I'm going to have to double check my math here, but I think it's like $1 million a day worth of revenue just on this one shard. So there's still an awful lot of revenue that can be generated for Hedera along those lines.
And you can see over here the metrics that we have for the total transactions is sitting at 3 billion, with the average TPS at 1.13k and the max TPS is at 4.3k. And again, these are still pretty big numbers, but you'll see over here we have these calculations with the amount of revenue that we could actually be generating with the 5-cent fee and also the 250 smart contract calls, as well as how many seconds are in the day, is potentially what we could actually be earning per day for Hedera. And of course, these are only the estimates that we have, but Hedera's revenue from the network in the transaction fees is still pretty high anyway, regardless. And so the fact of the matter is the revenue should only be increasing as we go along.
Reventh87 asks, what's the incentive for people to stake HBAR anymore now that staking reward amounts to less than 1% per year?
Yeah, it is a perennial question, and I understand why. Native staking keeps on coming up because people still have this kind of near memory of what it was like at 6.5%, and now the algorithm has switched to what it was always intended to be, which was a kind of background de minimis return. So if you've got a mindset from other, maybe based on other chains and other experiences of buying a cryptocurrency and staking it and then just getting a return, a yield on that activity, then of course there's a big gap. However, I think we're missing a point here. And when Lehman Baird originally kind of proposed native staking as being a de minimis background return, it was always envisaged, and we're seeing it right now, we're seeing it start to grow right now, that we don't expect the vast majority of the community to buy HBAR and then just stake it and sit back and go on their merry way and, in real life or whatever else they choose to do. We envisage Hedera as being the thriving, vibrant ecosystem within which one spends a lot of their online time. We have projects, like I said earlier, that you go from one hobby to maybe some business work to a bit of gaming, and then you manage your DeFi portfolio and all within the Hedera kind of ecosystem. And so when these projects start emerging, and we're seeing them now, right? We're talking all the time about the HTS token economy and the projects that are doing really well, and it's a really varied, wide spectrum, and it will be increasingly be so, right? So you'll manage your travel through Zenny, and you go onto your social platform, interact with Calaxy, and then you'll do some up-only gaming with Karate Combat, and then you'll go and utilize the your Citadel wallet, and right, all within the community. So if you're looking to get true yield, big yield, then you're going to be getting it through the HTS token economy, and you'll be interacting in this vibrant, interactive, fully interoperable and integrated Hedera ecosystem. And that HBAR that you're not using for your day-to-day kind of utility is sat in your wallet, still earning 1% on top of all the other things you're getting, right? So that's the meaning of de minimis, right? So it's a different mindset which Hedera brings, because you can't do all of those things on other chains, and so people are driven into that. Well, I've worked hard for this money. It's an investment. I'm expecting a return, right? It's kind of dumb money sat there earning you a return. With Hedera, it's a far more integrated world, and that layer on top of HBAR, where the other forms of staking. Remember, this is just native staking. It's background staking. This is staking. This is a staking reward you get for doing nothing.
One is the Hedera, the HBAR economy is just starting to get going. And once you get the velocity of money or the velocity of HBAR going through and paying fees and so forth, that 10% could eventually add up. That could be getting turned over on a regular basis and really start to generate some revenue. Also, we're just starting to see our HTS ecosystem really take off, and HBAR is still the numeraire throughout our DeFi ecosystem. It's the most liquid part of that market. So that's one place where it gets value. It's also the most liquid on-ramp and off-ramp currently within the Hedera ecosystem. We certainly want to see the Hedera version of USDC do better, but the things that I see coming up in the future. And
also, in addition with this staking, with the fact that it's actually reduced from 6.5% to only 1% for basically doing nothing, just earning that passive income, we do know that Hedera's network revenue actually increased by 59% quarter on quarter, amounting to $1.6 million in quarter 4 of 2023. And this was to do with the 66% quarter-on-quarter surge in the transactions, basically attributed by the Hedera consensus service. And so we know that the revenues network is in line with what we want to see. I mean, with expectations, it is actually exceeding them. And so what comes of that with the fees, we should be able to stake more. Over here, we have from Solar C say the best explanation of Calaxy's app's mission is to bring real life on chain. The vast majority of Web3 technologies are unusable to most, and we make the wallet something people love to spend time in rather a place where they fear for the life of their funds. So we know that Calaxy is built on Hedera. It's basically a creators app, and it's to do with the creator economy, right? It's built by creators for creators, and the creator economy is only growing too. Let's take a look at this because they were featured on CNBC.
I'm going to tap in 500 and I'm going to send that to Spencer, and as easy as hitting a button. But if you go through and you go over to the send crypto portion of the application, you're hit with a slide up panel. You can navigate through all the different assets you have in the wallet. So we plan on supporting a number of different chains. I'm going to pick USDC here. I'm going to tap in 500 and I'm going to send that to Spencer, and as easy as hitting a button like this, you can now see that the USDC has been sent to Spencer, and he has probably received it on his end. And so if you go over to the transfer details, you can see that.
We sat down and saw the bigger need, and again, you know, every time Calaxy continues to learn and grow, and that's how we also obviously got to, you know, this amazing wallet that now we can, you know, send crypto like a text message, which there's no product like that in the world, you know. But that all comes from, you know, growing through this process, having that unique, almost one-to-one relationship with a lot of our users, because, you know, friends, family, then, you know, personal and business relationships, right? We actually have those conversations with Ezekiel Elliott. We're not just paying him to be on our platform. So we get a different knowledge basis than other people, other programs, other platforms.
I mean, you saw how easy it was as well when he was able to send that 500 USDC, and he just received it within a couple of seconds. So right there and then, real time. This is a game changer, guys, and it's easy to do as well. It's just like you're messaging a friend, and a lot of people will actually be able to do it. So it's not like as if it's going to be that hard. Really good stuff coming from a Calaxy. So price action for Source today, we are currently trading at 0.08886. We are up by 7.26% on the one-day chart. We're doing quite strong. For the volume, we're down by 70.78%, and we're trading at $1.24 million. So over here in the early hours of the morning, we were trading at 0.08562. Now on the 7-day chart, we are up by 1.81%, but look at that nice spike, guys. I mean, over here on the 12th of February, we were trading at 0.07657. So now we've gone way past that 8-cent mark and way above the mid-range of 8 cents, looking like as if we're going to potentially be hitting the 9-cent price target. And on the 1-month chart, we are up by a whopping 24.85%. You'll see over here, we're just looking like as if we're trying to mirror this price action. but some really good stuff coming out from Source. Let's see if it is able to hit 9 cents, but if it can and it comes back down to 8 cents, it's still a pretty good support level for Source in general. So the price action of HBAR coin today, we are trading at 0.0825. We are up by 2.3% on the 1 day chart. For the 1 week chart, we are up by 12.2%. I mean, you'll see the growth over here on the 7th of February. We were trading at 0.0736, and then on the 10th at 0.0799. We broke past that 8 cent mark now over here, and looks like as if we're going to the mid range of 8 cents. But let's see if we can find support first for the next couple of days at the 8 cent price target. Guys, if you want daily Hedera Hbar coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.